is the desk on Global Television.
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momodu on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians. We are the Canaan because
that this country gets it right.
who are the
We apologize for that very quick break. Now the news continues. President Bola Tinubu says his administration is undertaking bold economic policies to propel Nigeria's economy out of the downturn occasioned by multiple shocks in the global economy. He also called for the global cooperation among African countries to tackle their shared economic challenges and take advantage of opportunities. The president spoke on Friday when he declared open the 2024 African Caucus meeting at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Tinubu's remarks are coming on the back of protests against hardship that started on Thursday across the country. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has appealed to Nigerians to be civil and peaceful while exercising their rights. He also warned those who may want to hide under the guise of protests to perpetrate violence to rescind their decision. The defense chief gave the warning and appeal while briefing newsmen on the ongoing nationwide protests against hunger and bad governance at the defense headquarters in Abuja. Kike Lomo Okere tells us more.
The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa noted that the security operative, especially the police, have been very professional in handling the protest, calling on Nigerians to show understanding with the federal government.
We want to appeal to Nigerians to understand that the federal government is doing the best it can for the country. The federal government, the present regime is just there for less than 1 year, and it is not possible for them to have solved every financial, economic, security situation within 1 year. But I'm sure everybody, if we're truthful to ourselves, efforts have been made and have continued to be made. We have seen policies that have been made to address the economic situation on the ground, including security situation. Things are improving. We are not where we are, but I can assure you we're heading there. And if we have the support of everyone together, we can bring total peace and the economy will pick up.
The Chief of Defense Staff further stated that the military will not fold its hands and watch the country drift into anarchy, pointing out that the military is watching and will step in if the situation gets out of Nigerians.
Just to give an update as to the situation that's ongoing, we're all aware of what happened yesterday. The government have actually shown its own commitment by upholding its promise to allow people to associate freely without any rancor. But I'm sure everyone is disappointed with the outcome. Clearly, the security forces have done extremely very well. I'm very happy to mention what especially the Nigerian police force, have shown a lot of professionalism, including where members of the armed forces had to step in. But you can see that we have remained very professional in our conduct. I will continue to do that, as long as the citizens also understand that there's a difference between peace and criminality. What we saw yesterday was, at the beginning, some semblance of a very peaceful demonstration, but which was quickly taken over by a bunch of criminals that don't mean us well.
He added that the government is doing its best to address the economic situation in the country, urging the citizens to hold the local and state government more accountable. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kike, for that report. Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Audu, has appealed to Nigerians to suspend the nationwide protest against hunger and poverty. Shaibu made the call in a statement issued by Special Assistant of Media Lizzie Okoji in Abuja, urging Nigerians to embrace dialogue in addressing all their concerns regarding the difficulties facing in the country. Operatives of Kano State Police Command have initiated a house-to-house search to recover items stolen during the protests in Kano. The protest, initially peaceful, was hijacked by suspected hoodlums who embarked on a looting spree. The looters raided stores, houses and government establishments, including the yet-to-be-inaugurated office of the Nigerian Communication Commission. taking away furniture, electronic items, and more. They also vandalized street lights and other public decorations. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command has called on the medical personnel to report anyone with gunshot wounds to the police. The command said it engaged some hoodlums in a fierce gun duel, with many of them escaping with gunshot injuries, adding that the hoodlums had taken advantage of the hunger protest to embark on massive extortion and assault on innocent citizens along the Lugbe end of the FCT. The Muslim rights concern Murik says the ongoing nationwide protests have been hijacked. In a statement, the founder and executive director of Murik, Professor Isaac Akintola, called on the conveners to stop the protests. The hunger protests took place in several states of Nigeria yesterday, Thursday, and 1st of August 2023. Although it was peaceful in some states, it became violent along the line in other states, with some lives allegedly lost and several buildings and vehicles torched and destroyed. The Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, also called CASLAC, has called for the protection of protesters amid growing concerns that the demonstrations have been hijacked by criminal elements and political actors with nefarious intentions. Executive Director of the Center, Awa Rafusanjani, confirmed the hijack of the peaceful protests in some places. While calling for the protection of protesters, he, however, urged them not to destroy properties and public infrastructure. Over now to Kebbi State Governor Dr. Nasiru Idris has appealed to the organizers of the ongoing End Bad Governance protests in the state to suspend their activities. The governor made the plea while addressing the people of the state on the current state of the nation, shortly after an emergency state security council meeting. Sharon Ajay has details.
According to Governor Idris, available intelligence suggests that some unpatriotic elements plan to import mercenaries from outside the state to cause chaos in Kebbi State.
The government of Kebbi State is doing everything possible to address the challenges faced by its people. So therefore, we want to plead with the organizers of this protest to see reason. You only know the beginning of the protest. You will not know how it will end.
The protest has been relatively peaceful in Kebbi State, with only minor incidents of violence reported in some local government area. The governor's appeal aims to prevent potential escalation. As of the time of filing this report, no protest has been recorded in Kebbi State, with people going about their normal businesses. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon, for that report. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, said alleged penchant for wealth by state governors was responsible for their unreadiness to pay the new minimum wage. This is just as the NLC said the state governors have no excuse not to pay the 70,000 naira minimum wage. According to NLC, if the governors can pay themselves the same amount of salaries, it is a must for every one of them to pay the new wage. Nobel literate Wole Soyinka has disabused the minds of people regarding misconceptions about the pirates' confraternity, saying that the registered association is not a bloodthirsty secret cult, but an association founded to push for justice and advance the betterment of the country. The world-renowned scholar disclosed this at the 26th annual Wole Soyinka lecture organized by the National Association of Sea Dogs, otherwise known as Pirates Confraternity, to mark the 90th birthday of Soyinka, who alongside 6 other undergraduates of the University of Ibadan founded the group in 1952. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has approved the removal of the chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission, Dr. John Chem. The State House of Assembly had recommended removal of the Commission's chairman. Members accused him of poor judgment. According to the Senate issued by his chief press secretary, Kalu Thurso, and made available to journalists in Makudi, The governor had accepted the resolution. You're watching Midday News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms by using the Global TV engine and the handles now showing on your screen. When Midday News return, Trump agrees to debate with Kamala Harris on September 4th. We'll bring you this and other more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of Midday News. Thank you for staying with us. On our business desk, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has clarified that it has neither suspended nor halted Arik Air's flight operations. The airline's flight continues as scheduled, and its ability to operate its remaining fleet remains unaffected. This clarification was provided in a statement signed by the NCAA Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achemagun, in Abuja. According to Achemagun, the NCAA is duty-bound to comply with the court order attaching Arik Air aircraft following the determination of its case at the Supreme Court, ensuring compliance with regulatory and safety standards. The central bank governors in Africa have expressed their concern over the rising cost of borrowing by African nations, stressing that the efficient development of the continent cannot be achieved at the current rates. The governors advocating a drastic cut in the cut of borrowing said this position will be submitted at the forthcoming International Monetary Fund and World Bank's annual meeting while conversing for the adoption of a common position by the African continent. On the foreign scene, Republican presidential candidate in the United States November election, Donald Trump, says he has agreed to debate his Democratic opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, on Fox News on September 4th. It was not immediately clear if Harris had agreed to the debate. Trump's post came after the vice president secured the Democratic Party's nomination as standard bearer in the November presidential election. Venezuelan authorities rectified Nicolas Maduro's election victory as a growing number of nations recognize his opposition rival as the true winner. Gripped by anxiety after Sunday's disputed presidential vote, the oil-rich nation braced for fresh protests as both Maduro and the opposition called for their supporters to demonstrate this weekend. Venezuela's election authority, meanwhile, ratified Maduro's win with 52% of the vote and said González Urtara had gathered 43% of ballots. Russia and Ukraine repelled drone attack overnight, their respective armed forces says, over 2 years after Moscow launches offensive on Ukraine. Kyiv has stepped up strikes on Russian territory this year, targeting energy sites that it says fuel Russia's assault on Ukraine. As well as towns and villages just across the border, the Russian Defense Ministry said it destroyed at least 76 drones launched by Kyiv, including 36 over the border region of Rostov and 17 in the Ural region. Over now to sports, a former Super Eagle player Victor Ikpeba has asked stakeholders to inject more grassroots football competition initiatives into the round leather game to produce more talents for the country. He stated this in Akure, Ondo State capital, at the press conference holding the finals of the annual Akungong football competition scheduled to be held in Oka Akoko, headquarters of the Akoko Southwest local government area of the state. The former African Footballer of the Year said the development of the game should not be left to the government alone. And that's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms by using the Global TV engine and handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.